Hey everybody, this is David here, or Chessman. Here today to answer a question. Basically, I had made a video about 1e4, and I made a video about all the mainline openings that you get from 1e4, and it was such a big hit that I decided to do it on d4. So today, I got my list here, and it's all the openings that I could find that comes from d4. So these are all the ones you should learn. And then after this, I might do it on c4, or I might start diving into specific openings. I'm not sure. Depends what I feel like, and if I get any comments in the comments section about what a preference, that will help me make my decisions. All right. So the first opening is the King's Indian Defense. It's d4, knight f6, c4, g6. This is the King's Indian Defense. You get this from 1d4. The next is the Grunfeld Defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5. This is the Grunfeld Defense. Take notes. Next opening is called the Neo Grunfeld Defense. That's d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5. Excuse me, let me redo that. That is the Grunfeld. The Neo Grunfeld is slightly different. There's a d4, knight f6, c4, g6, that's the same, and then it's f3 and d5. So f3 makes it the Neo Grunfeld. Next is the Benoni Defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, c5. That is the Benoni Defense. Next is the Budapest Gambit, which is d4, knight f6, c4, e5. That is the Budapest Gambit. Take notes. Next is the Queen's Indian Defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6. That is the Queen's Indian Defense. Next is the Queen's Gambit, which is d4, d5, c4. That is the Queen's Gambit, and it comes out of 1d4. Next is the Slav Defense, which is d4, d5, c4, c6. That is the Slav. Next is the Kali system, which is d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, e3. That is the Kali system. Next is the London system, which is d4, d5, bishop f4. That is the London system. Next is the Chigorin defense, which is d4, d5, c4, knight c6. That is the Chigorin defense. Next is the Marshall defense, which is d4, d5, c4, knight f6. That is the martial defense. Next is the Albin counter gambit, which is d4, d5, c4, e5. That is the Albin counter gambit. Next is the Baltic defense, which is d4, d5, c4, bishop f5. That is the Baltic defense. Comes out of 1d4. Next is the Nimzo-Indian defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. That is the Nimzo-Indian defense. Take notes, learn it. It's a good one. Next is the Bogo Indian defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, bishop b4. That is the Bogo Indian defense. Next is the Trompowsky attack, which is d4, knight f6, bishop g5. That is the Trompowsky attack. Next is the Dutch defense, which is d4, f5. That is the Dutch defense. Next is the Catalan opening, which goes d4, knight f6, c4, e6, g3. That is the Catalan opening. Take notes. Next is the Old Benoni defense, which is d4, c5. That's the Old Benoni. Next is the Old Indian defense, which is d4, knight f6, c4, d6. That is the Old Indian defense. Next is the Benko gambit, which is d4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, b5. That is the Benko gambit. Next is the Richter-Veresov attack, which goes d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. That is the Richter-Veresov attack. Next is the Tor attack, which goes d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. Whoops, I did the wrong knight move. Excuse me. Let me try that again. So we did the Richter-Veresov attack, which is what I just did again. The Tor attack is d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, bishop g5. That is the Tor attack. There we go. Now we have the openings that you can get from d4, but they also come up from e4. So we have the modern defense, which is d4, g6. It could have also been e4, g6, but you can get it from the d4 opening, so I put it in here. Next is the French defense, d4, e6, e4. That's the French defense. Then we got the Peert's defense, which is d4, d6, e4. That's the Peert's or the Perk defense. And we got the Caro-Kann defense, which again normally comes up with it from an e4 opening, but you can also get it from d4. So d4, c6, e4. That's the Caro-Kann. And the Owens defense. Last but not least, the Owens defense, which is 1d4, b6, e4. Owens defense. So those are all the main lines that you get out of 1d4. If you can, please comment in the comment section and let me know if you think I should do this for 1c4. That's the next most popular move, so I might do it for that. However, there's a lot less information on c4 and knight f3. Basically, there's tons of information on e4 and d4, but then the rest of the opening moves are kind of like there's almost nothing. So it'll be a lot harder to get the information, but I will try. If I can, I will. It just may take longer. But I want to know all the openings, so that's probably why I'll do it. Just because I want to know. And any of those out there who want to know will also get the value from it. That's great. So I'm either going to go on to 1c4 or I'm going to dive into individual openings. I plan on doing both. I'm just not sure where to start. It's kind of easy just to continue with 1c4. Choosing which opening to start with to dive into is kind of hard to decide. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments and I'll read them. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and enjoy the holidays. I hope you have a great one and have a good one. Like I just repeated myself. Have a great one. Bye.